just a heads up, if you do not want to get pregnant right now, I might be a little careful right now.
Yes.
That comes
Yes.
in
And that,
sometimes, right? Because it's like
yeah.
good high probability there's a baby hanging around you. And if you don't like take some precautions, that baby's coming. Welcome to Soul Rising. We're your hosts, Amy and Erin. We're two everyday mediums who are passionate about taking the woo-woo out of spirituality and bringing it down to earth. So put the kettle on, grab a chair, and join us. Hello.
Whoa!
Woo!
Wow. Amy and I are, because we record two, I don't know if you feel this way, Amy, because we record two podcasts. We record two episodes.
Together, yeah.
And so sometimes I feel like I'm like, all right, I'm really
The
feeling the
second
energy.
episode is like the second episode is often like very high energy because we're coming off of the energy of the previous episode for sure. So yeah, episode 38. Welcome. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about
Welcome to our planet. I've been a
you
little.
you had that shirt on the last time we recorded.
Did I really?
Yep.
You know what? I love this shirt.
I like that shirt
I
too.
promise I've washed it.
I'm sure you have. It's
Can
been a
you
couple
imagine?
weeks.
I wanted to keep my energy, so I just haven't washed it.
That's it. We talked in the last episode a little bit about clairsentience and even psychometry, right? And about the energy on of things like maybe jewelry if you bought a
Jewelry or
pre-owned shirt,
shirts.
right? The energy of somebody else, but so funny. So today we're going to talk about claircognizance. We're going to continue
Hmm.
our discussion on all of the different psychic senses called the clairs. So this is
Yeah.
part 4 of this series. Next week we're going to do clear
Clear it.
tasting and smelling
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that as a combined episode, and the final of the clairs, and we'll announce a future guest that's coming on
It's
then, as
exciting.
well as a really cool episode idea for the end of the month that's going to involve you guys, our
Whoa.
listeners.
I don't know why I
Yeah,
did that.
so really cool.
That's gonna
So
deter people away from what we're gonna do.
yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about claircognizance today, which is very interlapping. Like it is very connected to clairsentience, which we talked about last week. Clairsentience being clairsensing, as Erin and I discussed in episode 37 too. Like because we use all of the clairs and we don't really like differentiate, like we don't think about them all separately. They just kind of overlap often when we're connecting to somebody's energy or to their loved ones in spirit. More than one clair is being used at the same time. So it's been an exercise for us to
Yeah, I think
try to
so.
separate them all, like, and break them all down like that. So we appreciate your patience with us as we like share a lot of experiences and um
And do a little for
process.
myself. Yeah, do a little learning in the process.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this is all about though.
It's
So
true.
clear cognizance is like a clear knowing, right? It's like an inner, like when you think of like maybe somebody being psychic, maybe
Hmm.
a generalization might be somebody that is clear knowing, like
Yes.
claircognizance. Like how did you know that, right? So it's a little bit different than like clairvoyance where you're seeing something or you're hearing something through
Yeah.
clairaudience. It's just like a knowing. I
And
just
knowing. Whereas maybe clairsentience, what we just talked about previously, right, is about that feeling that emotion.
use an emotion with clairsentience. Yes. I
Whereas
think that's
this
how you can
is,
discern between what is
mhm,
clairsentience and what is claircognizance.
yeah,
Sentience, you've got emotion, you're feeling somebody's emotion,
yeah,
right?
with
And
that.
or you're
Yeah.
just in general, right? And then claircognizance is something just kind of drops in,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
a knowing about
Yeah.
something without
Yeah.
without the feeling piece in it, really. Like when it
So,
comes to emotion.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
They're very like
Like a gut. It's like that gut feeling that
gut
you
feeling.
that intuition, right? That thing that's telling you I should do this thing that I've been putting off, or you get like a sudden idea or a spark, or
Yeah.
something just like comes to you seemingly out of the blue.
And it like when
Um,
I often say, like when people ask me about intuition, this is probably the thing we're talking about is
Mhm.
claircognizance in some way.
Yeah.
Or like I often will say, like, it's one and done. It's one and done. It's not attached. You don't have all that emotion attached to
Yeah.
it. It's just like, so I'll give an example. You're riding down the highway by yourself, and then you all of a sudden have this thought come in, a feeling come in, I should say, where it's like, slow down.
Mhm.
You don't know why. It's not like there's anything around you. Don't see any police around, right? It's not like
Yep.
nothing's environmentally, externally telling you it's time to slow down, but it just comes in.
It
It's
just
like
comes in out
randomly a
of
download.
seemingly.
Slow down.
Yeah.
And then you do, and then you're like, oh, that's why. And there's like, a copper hiding behind the median over here, like somewhere. And you're like, ah, okay, thanks. Like
Yes.
it can be like that. It's not tied into
What we're really telling you is how to evade law
how to
enforcement.
avoid the speeding.
Just kidding, you guys. Just kidding,
That
okay?
happened to my mom though, which is why I use that example, because I was talking to my mom about intuition, and she goes, "Oh, so like would this be an example of that?" I was driving down the highway, and
Okay,
I
mom.
kind of felt like I need to slow down. So I did, and then there was a cop, and I like just, if I had continued my pace, I probably would have got
You
pulled
would have
over.
gotten a ticket. Yeah.
So that's why I use that example, because it just
That's
was
it. That's
that's
it.
what it's all about. And
Yeah.
we all experience that, whether or not we call it like a psychic
Claire
sense or
cognizance or yeah.
claircognizance.
Yeah.
We all have gut feelings. Like
Oh, right. Absolutely.
for sure. So I'm sure we can come up with many examples of this as we go. But it's that inner
Mhm.
knowing, that gut feeling, knowing something without proof in the moment,
Yeah, and I
right?
think that's the big piece, right? There's again, like you said, there's nothing in your physical environment that's like telling you
Yeah, like it's
otherwise.
not like, and I think that's what really trusting your intuition is about. It's like, okay, I for some reason I feel like I should do this. I'm not going to wait for a sign.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay to wait for a sign. I've got in the habit though where I don't need to wait for a sign anymore, because I've done this, like practice with this enough. So
Mm-hmm.
when I get that instinct immediately, I act because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
trust it. But I had to build that relationship with my own
Yeah.
intuition. So
Yeah, that's
when you're
true.
learning to trust it, certain, yeah, you can ask for a sign if you want to wait for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
eventually you'll get in the habit of just going,
I'm
nope,
just
I feel
trusting.
I
There
should.
it is again. It's the same. Do you have your pen? Is it your pen? Is it shine? Oh my God, it's plastic.
It's a Bic pen. Yeah, no,
There is the Capricorn, that earth part of me that we talked about previously is coming in and being like, what is the logical reason
what's the
behind this?
logical reason for the orbs in
But
every
it's
episode?
not.
Especially, they used to happen once in a while, not every episode. But have you noticed that since have an
We've
awareness,
acknowledged it
we've acknowledged that it's happening every time, multiple times.
every time. And we asked for it to happen here, and it did. It happened at my place.
Yes.
Previous episode. So,
Yeah.
guys, if you're listening, amazing. We love that you're listening, but you should also watch us on
Episode
YouTube
on
if you
YouTube.
can and see
Yeah.
if you can spot the orbs. Put it in the comments. Let us know. There it is again. Did you freaking
I
see
got
that?
nothing in my hand. I don't even
We
have a pen.
we literally were just talking about it too,
Oh,
and it
did you see?
loaded.
It's round. And it was bigger this
That's
time.
what
I
I'm
got
saying.
nothing.
Did I tell you that on like I used to catch orbs on my phone? Like I wouldn't get anything on my phone here at my like apartment, not all the time, but then when I would go home to visit my parents,
See them all the time.
um, I would get a ton of orbs and I would take the same photograph in that spot and it wasn't the same, like it was clear, like there was nothing in it. So
Yeah.
it's also telling me it's not dust. That's telling me it's not my phone. That's telling me it's nothing in the space.
Something else. I
I
don't
wish I
know.
saved all my orb photos because once upon a time I caught one that was blue. It was beautiful, like in a
I'm gonna
photograph.
show you something if I can find it.
Oh,
For those of you listening, you're definitely gonna have to find this on YouTube, so you can see. I'm gonna find a photo. Okay. I don't know if I talked about this before.
this is
Um,
wild.
do you know what photo I'm gonna talk about?
No, I just can't get over the
Oh,
fact that
because of the
sorry.
orbs. I know
The
it's
orbs, like we literally were just talking about it too. And you also saw it.
I saw it. No, I've seen it a few. There's sometimes I don't see what you're seeing because I'm looking down, but the
Yeah.
last couple I've seen. I'm looking for a specific photo. I think it's in my favorites album, so I'm going back in time and looking for it. It should be coming up soon. Okay. Here it is. So this was taken on August 22nd, 2015.
Yes.
I was pregnant with my third baby.
Okay, I know exactly which photo. Share, share,
Yeah,
share. I need to
and
see it again.
so the story with this is so in 2014 I had experienced a baby loss. We've talked about it. I've acknowledged him. His name is Henry. Comes through for me in spirit. And then there was a period of a year in which we were trying and it wasn't happening, and then something happened where I just kind of surrendered to the
Mm,
fact that it might not happen. I might have missed the window. And I know that a lot of people will resonate with this. Just not necessarily, yes, with pregnancy, but also just in general. The moment I surrendered, truly surrendered, was the month I conceived unexpectedly with our third child. I think there's something to do with that mindset sometimes in the surrendering. So
yeah,
if you're like really hoping for something to come through and the only thing you haven't tried is surrendering it, like that, it might be that thing
maybe
that you
try
need.
that.
Just
Yeah,
try it.
it's true.
Anyhow, so I was about, I want to say 3 months pregnant here, maybe getting close to 4, 3.5 months pregnant. We went to Kingston Mills, which is this place in Kingston, on the Rideau Locks area. Anyways, that's irrelevant. But we're there, and the kids and my husband are fishing, and I'm just kind of like hanging out in the golden hour sun.
Yeah.
And my husband took a picture of me because I'm like, oh, it's golden hour, my favorite time. Take a picture of me in this belly because it was just starting to pop. And at the moment he took the picture, I
Oh.
felt like a little movement, right? So baby's like this big, but like I could feel the little bubble, right? The little movement. It was like right
Mm-hmm.
here.
Little
And I
hands.
put my hand on the spot as he took the picture. And then he takes the picture and he's like, his face is like that. And I'm like, what? And he's like, this picture freaks me out. And I'm like, why? Okay. Look at my belly and look at that shape where
Oh,
my
I
hand
can't.
is. Can you see it?
It's not.
I can see it so clearly.
Oh, maybe we could also share it on our Oh, I see it. It's
Okay, so
huge.
it looks like a little alien with a bigger head.
Oh, it's that spot.
It's the same spot my hand is where I felt the baby. It's about the same size the baby would be at that time. Look at the head. It looks like an alien head, right? Which is what babies look like. They
It
have a
looks it
head.
looks like a mushroom.
But if I will put this picture up somewhere because it also has legs. Look,
Oh my God. What?
legs,
Wait, you've never showed this to me, this one. I've
legs and
never
feet.
seen this one.
Look at that.
It actually looks like an alien.
An alien baby. But babies look like that when they're like 3 months pregnant. Like if you were to look inside of me, that
It's
baby
literally like you took an x-ray
of my baby.
of your baby.
Look, it looks like this is the back of them, like with their bum, and then you can see their two little legs with their feet and their arm, and their big old massive head, and there's a neck.
I see it.
Do you
Oh
see
my
it?
God. Yeah, I see it. I see what you're talking
What
about.
is that?
That's
Right? Like
wild.
picture with the big old orb in the belly.
What?
My grandmother, she was like, oh, there's something happening in that photo, right? Like it's almost like you can't deny there's something happening in that photo. And I'm like, that's how big baby.
Wow.
I showed it to my midwife and she's like, girl, because she believed in spirit anyways. Like, that's your baby. And I was like, I know
That's your
it
baby
is.
who's literally like coming through.
Yes.
Wow.
And I was like, and I remember at the
I
time,
want to be in the photo
around the
too.
time I was starting, like things were happening during that pregnancy anyways with my own intuitiveness and my own mediumship. I just wasn't ready to fully walk through the door yet.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember putting it up on like a Facebook group, mediumship development or something. And I was like, what's happening in this picture? Right. And people were like, that's a boy baby. Okay. I think this is what he's going to be like. I bring through this, this, and this, and this. Sure enough, that's my son. And like the things that came through from some people
Oh
definitely
my
are his
God.
personality. But is that not crazy?
That is bananas.
Yes. That's a bananas picture. The shape of it though, it's not like a round orb. It's like the shape of it. It
It's the
has
shape of
legs
the
and
baby.
arms and a neck.
That's the wild thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
Spirit, we need
That's
some
insane.
alien
Yeah.
orbs here. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I love it.
Thanks for sharing that. That is so cool. It's definitely, if you're listening, you've got to watch this on YouTube now. Maybe Amy will share the picture on Instagram, but like, you gotta see this.
You got to look at that picture. Hopefully you can see it in it. Like I could see it on my screen, but I don't know how to
I saw it. I saw it. I saw
see
it.
it.
It took
Yeah,
me
okay,
a
good.
second. It took me a second. Yeah.
Yeah, insane. So that's the orbs. But yeah, so like I think it's
Claire,
sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, speaking of Claire, what are we talking about? Claire
Cognizance. Like a
cognizance.
knowing, right? A
You
knowing.
and knowing that I don't
Oh, I
know when
just
you
knew
had
it. I
you just
just
knew
knew
it. You
it
put your hand too on that spot. Like that's
because I
pretty
felt it
wild.
move and I was like, yeah, I know it. But interesting, you brought through kind of that knowing because I also wrote down that this can we can receive it in our downloads. We can
Mm-hmm.
receive something like precognition or precognitive dreams. So this is something that I
Mm-hmm.
would have experienced for decades. I always said this is
Yes.
how I communicated with spirit for many, 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 many years until I started to be more intentional in doing it during my waking time. But the rest of the time I was communicating with spirit when I was sleeping.
Wow.
Spiritual visitations. Like you've had spiritual visitations too in your sleep, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, I don't know if I've ever shared this story, but the coolest experience ever is, and what makes this cool is because my father had the same dream. Like,
You
very, very
told me
similar.
this, I think, but I don't know if you ever shared it on the podcast.
Okay. So my grandfather on my dad's side, so his dad, um, he passed away, and the day before the funeral, because everybody's in Saskatoon, we were in Saskatoon for the funeral, and we the day before the funeral, my dad and I shared the same dream about his father, my grandfather, and in it we were at the funeral home, and I could see my grandfather, who had always had like a big round face. Like he just had such a big round face, and he was like smiling from ear to ear, and he was wearing white, and he was introducing me to everybody. He was like taking me through, but it wasn't like he was speaking to me. It was like, again,
Telepathic.
telepathic.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I shared that dream, and my dad goes, that's pretty weird, because I had a dream about your grandfather wearing a white suit and he was smiling, and we were at the funeral home.
So we came to both of you at the same
Came to
time.
both at the same time. And my dad, who I think now he's probably maybe watching this in the background with my mom because she
Massive
makes him
skeptic.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, is now not so skeptical anymore.
Because he had an experience
He
himself.
had that
Right.
experience. And it's cool because I know we talked about like reading family, but I've given readings to my family, and there's things that like I don't know about my family history that my dad has never shared with me,
Mm-hmm.
that he's like, "Are you sure I've never told you that?" I was like, "Dad, I had no idea." It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm telling you, like there's no way. And he was like wild. So there's things that like I've brought in that I have no way of knowing, or like future events that have kind of played out. And so he's like, okay, you
Some,
know something to it. Yeah, I
yeah.
think very similar to my fiance Alex, and that there's something to
It's
this.
something
Yeah.
because Alex has experienced his own stuff, right? But it's just not
Hmm.
to the extent that you and I have.
Yeah.
Probably because there's not an intention behind it, maybe a little.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if he wanted to, he could.
Connect.
Hmm. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Just put it out there, Alex. I'm gonna come over and you're gonna board and all three of us are gonna do that. I don't know. I just had like an image of that, the Ouija board. Um, very cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, like precognition, another word I think for claircognizance, is something that I always experienced was like a sense of something was going to happen and then it did.
Yeah.
Or I dream of like precognitive dreams. I dream about something and then it happened. I'm thinking about this. So as I started to like kind of, I say, well, wake up. I just mean as my ability started to become more and more clear. I almost felt like they were ramping up. So things
Yeah.
were happening like way more
Yeah.
frequently than before. And I remember it was like probably the middle of 2017-ish.
Yeah.
For reference, my dad passed away in January of 2018, and that's when like it just blew off like the I push through the door of like, you're a medium. That is upstairs in case
Okay,
you.
I was like, because we asked for a knock,
I know there is
literally
a
was a
child
knock.
upstairs playing, I think, on the floor. So that's what that knock is. So I don't think it's spirit. I think it's my son, who we
It
were
got
just
a
talking
little,
about.
yeah.
Um, what was I saying? Oh, so things started happening in like 2017. And I remember this, there was a period of a couple months, like it was throughout the spring, where I kept having these dreams and they were so vivid. I would wake up and I would remember them. And I also was getting to the point where I was beginning to feel more open to share.
Yeah.
Sorry, literally is him stomping above me.
I know, but it's just what funny
I
timing.
know, timing, right?
Sorry, go ahead.
I started to share things too, which I think it was another piece of my
Yeah.
development.
Yeah.
But there
The
was this
more,
one
yeah.
night I dreamt of a friend of mine who's like, so my family is a military family. This person
Mhm.
was also a military family. That's how we met. And in the dream, I dreamt that her
Mhm.
husband had received a posting message for a specific place. And I was like, I woke up and I remembered it very clearly. So I woke up and I think I was like brushing my teeth, washing my face. And as I was making coffee, I had just sent her a Facebook Messenger message. Like, I had the weirdest dream last night about you and blah, blah, blah. I got a posting message and it was for this
Mm.
place. Like, how weird, right? And then it had gone on red, right? So she hadn't gone online, it had gone on red. And like 5 hours go by. And then
Wow.
she comes on, she sees it and she goes, first she makes me laugh because the first thing she wrote down was Amy, you witch, like that, right? And then she was like, oh my god, were you like looking in my windows, like how? And then she goes, no, it was like she was arguing with herself. She's like, no, there's no way that you could have even been eavesdropping. Not that I could have been eavesdropping, but you know what I mean. She was
There's
trying to
no way
rationalize,
that you would, yeah.
because you sent this at like 7 a.m. and he didn't even have that message in hand till like 9, and I didn't even know about it till 9:30. Like, how did you know about that before he knew about that? He actually got a posting message for the place that I brought through. And I was
Wow.
like, I don't know. Like, right. That happened. And then there was this thing where I had this feeling, a dream about another friend, and I didn't really know her that well. I was just kind of getting to know her. And I dreamt that she was sitting at a train station in her car waiting for her husband to come home. I didn't even know her husband was gone away. And so I messaged her randomly.
Whoa.
Again, this is like not something that I would normally do, but for whatever reason, I was like, I just feel like I want to share. So I just was like, hey, can I share something with you? And she's like, sure. And I said, this is what I dreamt about. Does this mean anything to you? And she's like, she took a
Get
picture
out
of
of
where she
town.
was. She goes, I'm sitting in our van at Via Rail
Yeah.
right now,
Which is a train
and
station.
train station,
Yeah.
and I'm picking him up. He's been deployed, which I didn't post about online, and you didn't know that. And I was like, what? And all this stuff started happening to me. I
And
was
you were
dreaming
like,
about things,
I mean, yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, I'm psychic AF, right? Like, but that's
Yeah.
how things started to come in, because I'm like, I'm dreaming specifically about people. There was
Yeah.
also one about a pregnancy with an acquaintance of mine
Wow.
that lived back in Nova Scotia that I had met like 3 times at a mom's group, and we were like
Wow.
acquaintances. And I messaged her and I said, really weird, dreamt about you last night. She had like a bunch of older kids, and so it wasn't like I really anticipated that she was going to have another child. Like, their kids were all teenagers. And then I said, really weird, I hope this isn't like too personal, but are you like expecting? And she's like, why do
Mm.
you ask? And I said, I dreamt that you were expecting a little boy last night.
Yeah.
And you were going back and forth between two names. I don't know what the names are, but I know the initials. And in the dream, you're going,
Yeah.
is he this or is he this? And she goes, I'm expecting a little boy. We haven't announced it online. And we're trying to decide between this name or this name. And they were the initials. And I was like, what? Look at my hair. My hair. This stuff started happening to me. And I'm like, why
Like
am I
all the
dreaming
time.
this? But it was like very ramped up about 6
Wow.
months before my dad passed away.
Oh my
So
God.
I always say my dad's passing, I feel like, was the catalyst for me to
Yeah.
go,
The catapult.
yeah, okay, this was what I
This
can
is it.
do. But things
Yeah.
were like happening.
Things were happening.
They're dreams. So when we talk about claircognizance, if you're having like dreams
Mhm.
about things that are true,
Yeah, or like
Think
just
about
that knowing that, like
without knowing why you know it.
knowing why you know that. Yeah.
And you think about, like, I'm sure you've experienced that
Oh,
too.
well, it's funny because I've never had premonitions
Never. Okay.
until recently.
Okay.
My recent premonitions were I dreamt that my friends were going to buy a home, and because that was a really clear dream. I knew they were who they were. They had just gotten married. Like they were, I had no reason again to think they were going to buy a house. They have
Yep.
not told us, right? And because I just got handed the keys by my friend, said, "Oh, here's the keys to our house," and I was like, whatever, coming into their their house, I was given the keys, and I was like, I think they're going to move. And literally a week later, I got a text saying, "We bought a place, surprise." Yeah. My
Yeah.
other one was that Al was like my dad was pressuring Alex of like, when are you going to propose already? Right? And he said probably October.
You told me that too. And because you were
October,
like,
wait, it was like very specific. It was like October 3rd or something.
yeah, you told me that before
Yeah,
that.
I told, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he didn't propose on October 3rd, which is like good because like I honestly was expecting a proposal in October. I'm not kidding, especially since like I dreamt that my friends moved into a place.
Yeah.
Um, but he proposed end of September, which like is pretty darn close.
Because I remember you messaging me and thinking, I think Alex is going to propose this fall.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, remember we were talking about it. I was like, I just had this dream. It was wild. I remember where I was when I messaged you that because I was waiting in line to get my health card renewed.
Yeah.
But jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
remember,
stuff like that.
I remember like soon after we met, because I think we met in like the fall of 2020.
Yeah.
And then we did our first like mediumship event together in
Yeah.
December.
Oh.
And I brought through your grandfather. And I remember clearly him saying about Alex proposing. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
and
showed me
you
a blue stone ring. And he said, he's going to propose. Don't worry, it's happening. Yeah, it's blue stone ring, right? He's like, it's happening. I know Erin's getting like kind of like, when's it happening, right? And he's like, it's going to happen. And there's a blue, and because I think I said, are you hoping, or is like your preference to have maybe like a non-traditional engagement ring in the sense like not like a solitaire diamond? And you were like, yes. And I said, because I'm seeing a blue stone ring. And you're like, and then she got a blue stone.
There it
And then
is. It's a bloodstone
when
ring.
you
It's pretty.
proposed and you posted the pictures, I'm like, you're good, grandpa, right? Like you're good. Like
You're
he
good.
knew.
I see you. Okay, okay, grandpa. Yeah.
And it gets my wheels spinning because I'm like, do you think then because your grandfather showed me that like 9 months before it happened, does that mean like he already knows what's going to happen, or does that mean that he is connected to Alex's intuition and knows that Alex is going to do that? And or does he influence Alex intuitively that
Listen, I
that's
think
what
it's
she
all
wants?
of the
I
above,
think it's so cool when you start thinking about stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Because even my friend was like, my friend was like, I was on the phone with him, and he was like, I think I'm gonna get her this one because it's so pretty, and she deserves the best. Like, I just feel like that was like also his, because he was torn between two, right? And something was
Other one,
like,
not a blue stone ring.
I don't know what it was. I think,
Okay.
yeah, I'd actually have to tell him.
Ask
It
him.
might have been, but I think it was a bit smaller.
Okay.
So, but he's like, I feel like I gotta get her this one.
He's
I
got
think,
it.
I think it was like a bit of everything. Where like it was like, yeah, you gotta go big or go home, buddy. Like,
Yeah, but it's so funny because I
it's
remember my
funny.
mouth dropped when I saw your engagement picture, and I'm like,
Yeah, because
it's a
honestly,
blue
I had
stone
forgot
ring.
about that. I forgot about that, and then you were like, Erin, remember? And I was like, holy
And that
shit!
was 9 months before.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
wild.
That's an
Anyways,
example too of sometimes things come in a reading
mm-hmm.
and it might not make sense in the moment.
That's yep.
It will. I promise you it will. It will. If you maybe you need to talk to somebody else to get the information from them, if it's a family thing, maybe you just need to wait for it to show up. It
Yeah,
will. I've heard from
it'll come.
people 2 years down the road and they're like, so
Yes,
remember?
yes, same. I
Yeah.
literally remember, like, I've gotten emails and I haven't heard from this person maybe in 2 years,
Yeah.
and they're like, "You're not going to remember this, but years ago you said this. Well, guess what? Like, it's wild.
It's wild. It really is.
So, like, what do you think too? I know we're almost at time, but what do you think too on this idea of like people will say, well, it's like if if a psychic or whatever, a medium brings it in, then it's predetermined.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just had that conversation the other day too, because this person I know, she's been asking me a lot of questions because she's intuitive and she has been since childhood. I'm not going to say anything
Yeah.
personal about her at all, but she also, I don't even know if it's fair or appropriate to say religious trauma because I don't know if that's true, but there's a lot of
There's just like
misconceptions
yeah,
around somebody's religious beliefs and whether or not being intuitive or having precognition is evil or the work of the devil or whatever. There's kind of that stuff going on,
yeah,
okay? And
yeah,
this what this person's working through. Yet they also have a feeling about things and experience things. So it's like this, like, how can it be wrong? Because I'm
yeah,
feeling it, right? And so
yeah.
I was talking to her a little bit about this, and she said something about, don't psychics can't, I said something like, would it surprise you if I told you I don't believe in fortune telling?
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, it would actually, because don't psychics know when something's going to happen in the future? Which reminds me too of something I read earlier where somebody was like, how come psychics, like, if he's a psychic, then how wouldn't he have known that was coming? And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's not how this works.
I know. I make jokes like that
Like,
sometimes
or
to
why
my client, like to clients and
you
stuff,
change
but
everything that was
that's
ever
not
been? Do you know how crazy life would be? Like, I don't think we could live.
yeah.
It
No,
wouldn't, you couldn't, yeah. And
couldn't
it's
live.
like, no, I don't know the lottery numbers. Am I
I
meant to know
wish.
them? No. Like, sure, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would win every week and like solve world
But
hunger.
you know what? It's funny because I've heard somebody say, you know what, if you really want, you might be able to get something like lottery numbers. But you gotta ask.
Maybe,
You might not get the $1 million.
maybe your intuition will be like, hey, I know you never play 649, but you need to play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, although I have had that feeling and we don't win.
Buddy.
Like, come
But
on.
this person, like I said about the fortune telling thing, and I
But yeah,
said,
yeah.
no, I said, I think there's like this misunderstanding. Maybe when I think of old-timey psychic kind of practices where you see something come in, therefore the psychic might say, this is
Hmm.
absolutely set in stone coming in because I'm seeing it, therefore it's set in stone. But for me, I said I go into it with a different understanding. I go into it where anything that comes in about the future is a probability because I
Yes.
believe that our free will gives us the choice to make decisions. So I could say it feels very
Hmm.
probable that Alex is going to propose in the next 9 months.
Yes. Yeah.
He might choose not to.
Yeah. Like maybe he was going to propose in October, but so,
And he changed,
they
so
at
a
different
medium can
strings.
say that, but
Yeah.
so the medium's
Yeah.
not wrong that it didn't
No.
happen the way it is. The
It just,
person with the free will that's involved in the situation
yes.
decided to do something different. So
You can't control
you can't
people.
control. No, right? So when
We
people
have
ask
free will here.
specific questions that involve other people, I will say,
Yeah.
this is very probable for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
If it's coming into me as a probability, it means it's very likely to happen.
Yeah.
So I believe that words have power. So if I tell you that something's probable to happen, and then I tell you maybe a little bit of guidance of how to get that to happen or speed it along, if it's something that you're in control of,
Aligned with, and yeah.
which is different than like a marriage proposal, but
But yeah,
you
you're right.
believing in that and giving it power
Yeah.
and taking the steps towards it, you manifest it
Yeah.
essentially, right? It's a
Yeah.
way to give somebody power in
Yes.
that future thing coming in. But also, if somebody could tell you something, you go, I don't really want that to happen, I don't think. Well, then
Well, that
let's
doesn't have to
do
happen.
something so it doesn't come in.
Yes. Yeah. And also, sometimes if you're like, I don't want that to happen, and whatever I'm bringing in, it could just be like a little, hey, heads up.
That comes in sometimes about babies, like I'll get a feeling and I'll be like, just a heads up, if you do not want to get pregnant right now, I might be a little careful right now.
Yes.
That comes
Yes.
in
And that,
sometimes, right? Because it's like
yeah.
good high probability there's a baby hanging around you, and if you don't like take some precautions, that baby's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Just a heads up. Whenever I connect to a baby, it's always like I brought so many like
It's always like, hey, I'm gonna come in, so you best be ready.
be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, should we pull a card?
Yeah, let's do that. I just pulled one. Do you want me to go first while you're pulling yours?
Yeah, because I went first last time. So it's your turn.
I'm pulling from the Angels and Ancestors deck. Felt called to do that. And
Ooh, I need a new
you have
tarot
this one
deck.
too.
No, but I need a new one. And I
This was
like
one
that
of my
one.
first
I've
ones.
seen that a lot and I've been recommended that one. So
I
I
like
should.
it. I look, I bought this. I launched my business in March of 20. I always write in
I
my
love that you do
I
that.
do it in everything. My notebooks, my
Yeah, I
decks,
gotta do that.
books. I just like to look back and be like, oh, I got this
Yeah.
done. So I got this
I
in
wrote
April of 2019 and I
oh,
launched my
see, I
business.
like that. That's
So I've had it for the whole the
nice.
whole
That's
time that
nice.
I've been doing this work. So yeah, I like it too because like look how beautiful the back of it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I got the drum card. I'll show you here. Drum.
Ooh, I like that.
Dream and journey. It's funny. Journey inwards to uncover insights and information that will be important for your path, and then follow the gut.
Get out. Come on.
Laugh makes me laugh. But this is what claircognizance is about. Um,
Sorry.
I'm just going to read the whole thing. So it says, in shamanic traditions in all four corners of the world, the drum is recognized as the main tool used by medicine men and women to direct their will and meditation. Interesting, direct your will.
Yeah.
I just talked about like manifesting something towards you, right, as a probability.
Mm-hmm.
A drum beat can become hypnotic and send those listening into an altered state that can allow them to journey to the spiritual realms and meet their own guides. When the drum card appears in a reading, there are opportunities for you to dream or to bring an inner vision into reality.
Oh, I like that.
Extended message. You are very connected to the other worlds at this time. The veil is thin. You just said that. The wisdom and intelligence of the earth and her magic surround you. The drum, which echoes the sound of Mother Earth's heartbeat, has cleared the cobwebs and dust from your inner vision. What you have, I just saw something.
No, it's my cards. I was
Okay,
testing
I
it.
was
It's
like,
my
what
cards.
is
Sorry.
that? What
It's
you have
definitely my
seen
cards.
in your dreams and inner vision is not imagination, but guidance. Particularly if it has been coming to you repeatedly and has the potential to become your reality. Potential. Dreams come true, know it and live it. I love this too because it validates what we're talking about.
That's
But
so cool, Amy.
also it validates kind of what we talked about with the Claire voyance one, where it's like, is your imagination connected to messages? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love that. I love when cards are really aligned like that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, I pulled leadership,
Mhm.
Holy Spirit, which is cool because I saw a dove today actually.
Did you?
Yeah,
Holding hands as they walk up the.
I
That's what real
love it.
leadership is about, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
guiding, right? You're paving the way for others.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pulling from the Ask Your Guides Oracle deck, which I felt like I need to put it in. I like this too because it's got a space for notes. I haven't done that.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, I have to find it. I just didn't find it. Hang on. 51. Maybe the number 51 will resonate with people. Okay. So it says the keywords are charisma, enterprise, authority, motivation. The Holy Spirit, so Spirit, the universe, right, is encouraging you to consciously and fully embrace the leadership role you've been carving out for yourself. This is cool. Though your focus, dedication, stability, and discipline, through your focus, dedication, stability, and discipline, you're emerging from the background and becoming recognized for both your competence and wisdom. Others are naturally attracted to you. The universe is your guiding force as you motivate and inspire others. Indeed, the very word inspire comes from the word spirit, means to invite or to inhale the Holy Spirit into your life and move you towards your creative and spiritual best. The universe affirms that your assignment for now is to shine your bright light to the world and make no apologies for enthusiasm, confidence as you lead others to higher ground. Being mindful, however, not to overdrive yourself, which is what we talked about. Don't overwork yourself previously, and becoming disconnected from your source or getting risk of burnt out. Enthusiasm is like fire and must be contained or it can consume you. Your message is lead with confidence.
I love that message too, with it.
Yeah.
Leo season, confidence,
Yes. Confidence, leading.
leading.
I just keep seeing like if you're in some role, maybe that you're a leader in, that I feel like there's two ways with this, that if you're in this position, you're meant to really like guide and inspire others. And if you've been feeling called to do so, do more of that or keep doing what it is that you're doing. And then the other feel like message with this is that I feel like you're being called to just take action and to lead on something, take the lead on something.
Love it.
Yeah, cool.
I
Just trying to see if I got anything else, but
I I was just taken when you said inspire really means that spirit
yeah,
and I was kind of taken by that, thinking about
it's
when you're inspired, is that the
yeah,
spirit in you that's responding or that is even
hmm
giving that information.
giving that information. Yeah, having that knowing. The other thing that I think is really interesting is like, I I pulled a card, but I was like, oh, it's a second card. Like I'll just leave it, and then I pulled the same one again.
Oh, so it definitely wants you to give it. Okay.
New life, divine mother.
We got that before.
Yeah. But it's interesting because we literally have just been talking about babies the whole time. And you showed a picture of
A baby in my
a
belly.
baby in
There
your
might be a
belly.
message for that too. So if somebody is currently expecting or, wanting.
Wanting, I think it's on its way. I also just feel like there's like a lot of new I don't know if you've been getting this in readings, Amy, but I find one theme is that there's going to be a lot of new things coming in for people as we go into the late August, early September. I don't know if you specifically those time frames you've been picking up on, but
I've been picking up on like a lot of
like
it,
new
it
changes.
feels almost like the fall is going to be a portal of some sort. Like it does,
Yeah.
like September is going to have a very, very busy energy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I have been picking up on that for sure.
That's
Feels
cool.
like it's going to be very busy.
I think so.
I've just never heard that before, that it says the word inspiration meaning being in spirit. I
Yeah.
just love it. It's just, I don't know, there's something in that, there's something that's
That's
inspiring
inspiring
about that.
because it's like you're connected. That's creative like that. I feel like that just talks about being connected to that other that place, that channeling place, that place between with spirit, that in between place, that we
Before we
talk about
leave
often.
Yeah, before we leave you, there was some things about like how to really nurture your claircognizance, right? And so I don't know if you have some things to share, but I
Yeah.
was just gonna say like be intention, like being intentional about it.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
asking,
This is exactly what
automated
I was going to say.
writing,
Yeah.
right? Things like
hmm
that. Did you have anything you want to
Yes.
share about that? Any
No,
tips?
that's I think like that's if you feel like there's an inner knowing, like write it down or make note of it if something just kind of comes through, even if you feel like you saw something the other day and you feel inspired. Like I've been writing down ladybug because I have seen so many ladybugs and I've also seen a lot of just like butterflies but that like linger, okay, or that like ladybugs. We dog sat over the weekend. It was so fun, and I was like about to like throw the ball to the dog and there was a ladybug on it, And there wasn't, you know, a ladybug on it before, so it must have just rolled by. There literally was something that flew by you.
I know it's like a fruit fly or something.
Is it a fruit fly? Okay.
I do. It's not a ladybug. That would like I would lose my
Can
mind.
you? I would lose my.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like I've been seeing, so I've just been making note of it, and I think it just means like there's going to be some transformative, positive changes coming in. I think there's going to be some new things. So like take note of what you're seeing, what sticks out to you. That's what I would encourage folks to do.
Yeah. Like when I often tell people to evidence
Yeah, evidence journal.
journal. Go get a Gold Hill Roy scribbler, like whatever.
That's how I started out.
Yeah, me too. I started with automated writing.
Yeah.
Right. So for
Yeah.
me, it wasn't always writing it; it was typing it. But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So I always give people guidance, like start an evidence journal, write down those random things that are coming in that it's just like this clear knowing and you don't know why, or you had this feeling about somebody, it turns out you were right. Like just write it down. You dream
Yeah.
something, you're like, I don't even spend a lot of time trying to interpret dreams in the moment anymore. I just make note of it. And what happens is then I find like something will happen. It'll be like, oh, that was trying to tell me that months ago, right? It's in my evidence journal. And what I feel like this can do for people is it gives you the confidence, right? So that you can get to the point where in the future, when whatever that thing comes in, that you act because you've got all this evidence that your intuition is correct and you are connected and that it's working on your like your what's the word I'm looking for, your behalf.
Yeah.
So I feel like the more that you have that evidence for yourself, the more you're going to be more trusting in that moment. So you're like, I hear this thing. I'm meant to like leave that job. I really am meant to take this new job. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to trust.
It's going to lead you. You're going to just end up trusting yourself more. I think that's
100%. So evidence journal is just a really good practice for anybody, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to that, I keep trying. I literally have like a dream journal I've had for years. I write down. I had a crazy dream last night, actually, which is I still remember. So I
literally was thinking about your previous dream too. Like today, I was like, I wonder if Amy has any updates for
the booth partner.
Any more booth partner?
I have not ever connected to that again. But I just think that's wild.
Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry, continue.
No, I just had a dream last night. It wasn't actually. Sometimes when we dream about like death, it wasn't my death. It was that somebody else had passed. I didn't wake up upset though. It didn't come in like this person's actually going to die. It didn't come in like that. It represents something and I'm not sure what it represents yet. But there is, because I know that death can sometimes be like rebirth, right? Like
like
but I had a dream and I remember it. And I always say like we dream all the time, every night. You don't remember them every time. If you're remembering it, there's a reason for it. Just take note of it. You don't have to like decipher it and investigate it in the moment. Maybe you don't have all the pieces and it won't make sense. It doesn't mean it's not valid. I mean, look at the booth partner dream where I was just like, man, whatever. Like if we didn't take the time to talk about that and to like let it unfold as it wanted to, that would have
never come across that.
Ridiculous.
It would have just been
right?
This.
So I don't know about you, but I've been having crazy dreams. So if you, our listeners, are having crazy dreams too, like I do think there's just something to that.
I think so.
Right now.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Have a good week, and we will see you next week with some special announcements.
Yes.
For August. So some episodes coming up in August that are exciting.
I'm trying to wiggle my eyebrows, but I can't do it.
Maybe Scott can do some like animated ones.
Scott, animate our eyebrows. Yeah, take our eyebrows out. Do the. Sorry, guys.
He will. He's like, oh, don't even start. I definitely will. I was hearing from you guys. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you'll understand. But if you're not watching on YouTube, like my husband's been doing some like funny animations and graphics. And there was one where like I was talking about my cat and I was having a bath and my cat, like I saw him in spirit. So my husband literally made our graphic, like the cover for that episode,
So
me in
into
the
a
tub. Not really, it was not my body. It was like he took a picture. He Googled like woman in tub or
I like though that you had to preface that. Like I just need everybody to
was not
know.
me in the tub. But yeah, he like put it all together, and I heard from a few people, because that was the episode, Erin, where you were sharing that you had like some sort of intuitive download while you were on the toilet. And a few people messaged me and they're like, Scott, total missed opportunity. You did not the toilet.
You could have put a toilet flush.
So I don't know. Well, you'll never know what
That's
you're
so funny.
my is going to graphic design school, so he is using us as his
Little
his
guinea pigs. I
material.
love it. I love it.
Okay, have a wonderful, we'll see you soon.
Oh,
Exciting information. Episode 39 coming up.
39. I have to
39
take a
next.
second.
39 and 40. Amazing. So stay tuned. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and tune in each week as we dish on all things spiritual.
Don't forget to like, comment on what you would like to hear us talk about next, and subscribe.